up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're discussing the case of Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy when he disappeared on February 26, 2024, and he has not been seen by video. He hasn't been seen by a private citizen, and there has been no scent dogs to track his location, but we are told that he disappeared and last seen on February 26th. This child disappeared from inside an alleged locked home that has no signs of forced entry and no signs of him leaving the home. This tale started on February 26 when a call came in to the Sumner County non-emergency dispatch line around 6:33 in the morning. It was learned that Sebastian Rogers, an autistic and medically needy boy, seemingly walked out of his home and was never seen again. At least that's what we are led to believe. By February 27th in the afternoon, an Amber Alert was issued for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, alleging that there's a possibility of an abduction of this boy to have taken place. None of us were really clear at the time why this Amber Alert had surfaced, since they kept expressing that there was no possibility that led them to believe he was abducted. We fast forward to March 4th. March 4th was a critical and pivotal moment in this case, and that's when law enforcement decided to scale back their search efforts. This would have been communicated with the parents on March 3rd or before. On March 3rd, that was the first interview the mom and stepdad provided on a Duchess panel. On March 4th, they did their first mainstream media interview with WSMV. And both of those interviews were a little odd. We were unaware what had really transpired, and we were hanging on every word the mom and stepfather said. But there were some things that just didn't seem right. One of those things is their over-explanation of how he was not in trouble, and how he had not been in trouble recently, and how he had a good day, and how they just are racking their brains and can't figure out why he would run away from home. Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, went to media and started expressing some concerns with the statements or the story that his ex-wife was providing. He just felt like something was off. By March 18th, on the Smiley's World interview and the subsequent interviews after that, such as Nancy Grace, it was clear that there was a meltdown between the family dynamic between the mom and stepfather and with Seth Rogers, the biological father. It seemed like the family unit that Chris and Katie were trying to proclaim was so great at the time of the son's disappearance has now have many public fractures in that facade. We still have no clue where Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is, but what we do know is Seth has done everything we as the public expect. He's been out there looking for his son since day one. He's provided us his alibi and the supporting documents to prove his alibi, and furthermore has done a polygraph test on the Nancy Grace show, which was publicly released, identifying that Seth Rogers passed his polygraph test. So where do we go from here? The leads lead where they lead. Let's go through some of the information. We were told that this child had no history of running away from home, yet woke up in the middle of the night one day after having an amazing weekend and took off with not even his shoes on. We learned from law enforcement that there is no scent and no video of Sebastian on it, and there have been no eyewitnesses coming forward that have seen Sebastian since the infamous video at the Texas Roadhouse Grill. We were also made to believe that his life was a very normal life, and then we learned that this mom and stepfather, while trying to conceal the information, have been trying to rehome this child as early as October 2022, and since moving into their home on Stafford Court, have had 5 CPS reports called against them from third parties such as teachers. We were told from the beginning that all parents were cooperative. They've all taken a polygraph test. They are all cleared by law enforcement. However, we learned the only person that had taken a polygraph test was Katie Proudfoot. Chris and Seth had never taken a polygraph test, and again, for months, he proclaimed he had been cleared and passed his polygraph test. The mom and stepdad also stated on many interviews they were doing everything they can. They were searching, they were posting flyers, they were putting up signs. However, their neighbors and their community stated that that was also a lie. They had not seen them. And when they questioned them about it, they got into their camper and took off. The mom and stepdad were seen eating out during search efforts. We're seen motorcycle shopping during a vigil, and we learned that they went to a motorcycle rally while law enforcement was still searching for their son. For many of us, these are very disturbing and problematic behaviors and actions from the mom and stepdad. which is what raises red flags in our eyes and in our minds. Nothing has been stated to resolve that issue. And lastly, I also find it very concerning that Seth has provided his alibi with supporting documentation. Katie has provided her alibi, whether we believe it or not. She has provided it. The one person that has never provided us one scintilla of information related to his alibi or where he was during the time of Sebastian's disappearance is Christopher Proudfoot, the stepfather of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And he still proclaims to this day that law enforcement has specifically told him and him alone not to reveal his timeline. Again, that's not something that is typical. Typically, the person that's the furthest away, their alibi has no relevance to the case. So since his has relevance to the case, wouldn't that conclude that he is an integral part of the Sebastian Rogers case? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channels on multiple platforms such as X, Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, and hopefully TikTok if it survives January 19th. I hope you all have an amazing day. God bless each and every one of you that's watching this video. What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son. Well, good morning and happy Saturday to all. It's nice to see you. We're going into Saturday like what? Strolling on through the weekend, y'all. Strolling on through the weekend. The week was... All right. If you wonder why I went through a long interview or a long intro this morning, it's because I got this. Okay, I was starving this morning, so I set up the live and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get through this live without on an empty stomach. And so I made this, and I actually did it a little differently. You know how you have a lot of pans? Well, since I was in a crunch and I didn't feel like washing the dishes, by the way, I got just about every single one of the dishes washed while I was cooking. Yes, yes, yes. Give it up. Bullhorn Betty cleaned the kitchen. I don't know how I did it in 22 minutes. Actually, I think I had 32 minutes. I had 32 minutes. I got biscuits in the oven. I got sausage cooking. And then after the sausage cooked, I kind of cleaned out the pan and kind of cooked the eggs, the scrambled eggs in the sausage pan. So while they look a little funky, they taste really, really good. I didn't even season the eggs, by the way, because they went in the pan with the sausage after the sausage was cooked, of course. So now I have myself a wonderful breakfast, and I was like literally stuffing my face during that 8-minute, dissertation on the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I had some idiot reach out to me. I don't know if they're watching. I'm going to call you an idiot. Reached out to me and told me that I need to quit calling Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and I should only refer to him as Sebastian. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably just shaking your head like, oh, no, she didn't. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So I had some very strong words for her. First and foremost, the first word is, don't tell me what to do. Okay. If anybody has been in an abusive relationship, you've been told what to do long enough, right? Nobody ever will tell me what to do again. That's why it's a sensitive subject for me. So if you come here and tell me, I don't care if you're a faithful subscriber, if you're a faithful subscriber, you should know better, first and foremost. Secondly, if you're a faithful subscriber and you reach out to me and tell me what I should be doing on my channel, that's when I have no problem hitting the block button and telling you about yourself. So if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, but next time, learn where to walk. Okay. And bullhornbetty@gmail.com is not your walking path, baby. So Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, which is his name that was given to him by his father, that is who we are talking about. This handsome boy behind me. Now we have a lot of things going on. News is kind of going crazy, which is really insane because we had a very dormant process in the news cycle, and now it's like all of these things are hitting, or they're just being released to Google. I can't figure it out. Become really weird stuff, and I'm going to have to caution you. If I've got parents that have underage children in this chat right now, please stick around, even if you can't stay long. I promise you, I'm going to get to something that we need to seriously have a discussion about. And I need you guys to listen to me, and I need you guys to protect your children. So Dane Paulson is a 2-year-old child, as we know, beautiful 2-year-old child. We don't know what's going on. Nancy Grace, went over a video or went over this case and started to bring up some other cases. Now, one of my biggest problems is this child is not on the Amber Alert system. Hey, Seth, am I seeing people in here? Seth and Tony are up in the house. It's nice to see you guys. Thank you for being here along with all of the other content creators, Smiley's World. I don't remember if I've seen Hindsight, D's Mysteries. I know Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy don't have a channel, but I always like to shout them out because I know them personally and I love them to death. And I always like to say people, especially the people I know and love. So all of our beautiful people here, good morning. It's nice to see you. We've already got 330 people, 33 people in chat. So if you guys, Lady Justice, if you guys have an opportunity, please go out and hit a thumbs up. We're going to be going over a lot of serious matters this morning, but one is highly, highly disturbing for me. And it's in my state, and it's only an hour away from me. And I'm very, very, very disturbed. This is enough. And I'll explain why. Well, you'll understand why it's disturbing in and of itself, but then you'll understand why I'm kind of wanting all of my parents' attention. Okay. I need all of the parents that have underage children's attention when we get to that. So I'm going to try to brush on through some of this stuff. There's no information on Dane Paulson. I don't know if this child was abducted. All I'm saying is everything I'm seeing with the mom and father aren't raising red flags. Okay. A lot of people are highly upset, and it's so easy to judge because when you turned your head and take your eye off your child, nothing happened and you forgot about it. But I can guarantee every single parent here has done the same thing. This is a country environment. And the reason why I'm adamant about this is because part of my life was raised in town, and part of my life, mostly the weekends, or in the country. Okay. The country is a slow environment. There's nobody out there. You feel the security of no one being around. I don't want people punishing because you guys may live in cities. It's a little different. You may live in large counties. In smaller areas that have 1,300 people, parents aren't really that concerned about their children being abducted or taken. They're more concerned about the child getting in ant beds or climbing a tree and falling out and breaking an arm. That's kind of, I understand it's a different, but I understand it. I have had the experience, and I just really want to convey that to my audience because I get so angry seeing moms in there criticizing a mother that's going through so blessed much, and they don't know the circumstances. It is so easy to judge these things. We like to judge people that do bad, not make mistakes. Okay. Were there preventable mistakes? We can all agree with that. But again, it's no different than a mother driving her kids to school and getting sideswiped by another car, killing one of her children because she accidentally ran a stop sign. She didn't mean for it to happen, and she's forever going to blame herself. So if there's judgment, I understand your judgment. I didn't like it, raised my eyebrows that this woman didn't have her eye on her children. But again, it happens all the time. It is always preventable in a situation like this. But what we do as a community is we give love and support for accidents, not condemnation. Not condemnation. So I just have to keep reiterating that. And so nobody has found this. Nancy Grace had somebody on there, and the community came together. And of course, this lady is describing how the community didn't know what they were doing, which really, really upsets me in and of itself, because yes, I understand that people aren't professionals when it's a community effort. And she was kind of chastising. And mind you, she was young. So that was frustrating for me. I'm thankful for each and every person that searches. I'm sure the parents are thankful for each and every one that searches. But at the end of the day, expecting to have a SARS organization with community people, it's not going to happen. And you're just thankful that you have bodies in the woods looking, because what you're looking for is not microscopic evidence when a child is missing. You're looking for a boy. You're not looking for, and it sounded like she's looking for, tracking stuff, which I get. If you have that experience and you know how to do that, by all means do that, but you don't criticize people that are just trying to help. And I thought it was well taken, but not well taken. I kind of got rubbed the wrong way, but God bless the lady that was there. She has a child and a dog, and she was just trying to help, and I get it. I don't want to condemn her for her help as well, but how would she feel if she was up there or somebody else was up there saying that about her? It's inappropriate. There's a time and a place. Facts are all you need for that, not condemnation for a team that came together. But during this process, and in one of the chat rooms of Dane, we're almost done with this, came up another name that I didn't realize, and it's from the mom. Not Dane Paulson's mom, but Dane Elkins' mom. And she just wanted to remind everybody not to take away from Dane or the situation, but also remind people that she has a Dane that's missing too. And this story breaks her heart. She's been looking for her son for 4 years, and his name's Dane Elkins. If you need my help, let me know. So she is reaching out to this family and saying, hey, I'm happy to help. I know what it's like to be here. God bless this lady, right? And because of that wonderful gesture, she's made it on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Now, granted, we're not the largest channel in the world, but on a Saturday morning right now, only 23 minutes in, we have 455 people to put her son in front of, to advocate for her son, for just doing human decency, saying, I have a Dane missing too. I'm happy to help. I'm great with social media. Willing to do whatever it takes. So we're going to take a few moments and we're going to learn about her son, her missing son as well, this beautiful Saturday, because everybody gets an opportunity. At least we try. We can't cover every case. It's impossible. We are not trying to accomplish impossible. We're just trying to accomplish helping. So while my heart breaks for this other mother, this is her handsome son. And so just take a few moments with me to walk down memory lane. So you all, if you know anything, maybe you know somebody that knows something. I never heard of this case. If it wasn't for this mother willing to help this family she doesn't know, we would not be here right now learning about Dane Elkins. He was a missing engineer student. So I'm just going to give you the rundown, just what I can hear over here. I don't think you can see my my mouse, probably because I'm not. There we go. There we go. So I'm just going to read this here, and then we're going to read the News Nation article and just give him a few minutes of our time, and then we'll move on. And when we move on to the next part, guys, this is where I'm going to need all of my parents to pay attention. Okay. So Dane Elkins is a professional racquetball player. He holds 23 major national junior racquetball champions. He's also the 2017 National Paddleball Association Juniors 18 and Under National Champion. So it sounds very, very interesting. He sounds like a very accomplished kid at such a young age. So let's learn a little bit about Dane Elkins. We don't want to forget about Dane Paulson, the 2-year-old that's missing, that we would love nothing more than to bring home and to bring home safely. However, since there's not really a whole lot of news that we can provide our audience on Dane Paulson, maybe somebody has seen Dane Elkins. Dane Elkins was an engineer student, very, like I said, very accomplished. Champion racquetball player. He began experience the symptoms of paranoia before his disappearance. So it sounded like there was something going on with him. Now, paranoia could be a number of things in my experience. It could be mental health from the academic challenges and pressures. It could also be that he felt stalked, that he felt followed. All legitimate purposes, but with him having these great accolades and been able to provide attention, I don't know a whole lot about certain mental illnesses or all mental illnesses or what could trigger paranoia. In colleges, you always get concerned: are they utilizing substances to help maintain the ups, so they can stay up as long as they need to get their very compact and full schedule and homework done. I've heard of that. In colleges, the pressures of the semester I've heard of substance abuse to try to get through the work, such as for example, Ritalin. That's a drug that I've heard that helps people stay up, that students can or maybe utilize and abuse. Okay. I'm not saying that that's here. I'm just giving some situations. It could be a mental break. It could be something with maybe a substance abuse issue, or it could be he sensed something was happening. This kind of goes right along with my Jason case in Virginia, because a lot of this was similar statements, but we haven't gotten in or dived into that case yet. His mother believes he may be living as a homeless person, but we don't know. So if she believes he's living as a homeless person, she may have indicated, thought the same thing, that maybe he just had a break at school. But either way, we always want to try to help. And if he is in a homeless shelter or homeless right now, we have a lot of advocates that come to this channel in our chat that actually work with homeless people around this country. So if you guys can keep your eyes out, that would be really, really good. Newly released footage gives more insight in the mind of the California engineer student who was dropped off grid 4 years ago. Now, engineer students, believe it or not, know how to, I've met engineers they have a different brain. I don't know how to explain it than that, right? They have a different type of brain, than the rest of us typically do. They like the workings of things. And I've met off the grid engineers before, and they live off the land. They have built water filtration systems in the middle of nowhere. They've had the ability to literally live off the grid and live off the grid in style without having to forego, amenities, believe it or not. So is this a situation like this? I'm unsure. And before we move on, I just want to read this and then I'll go through. Thank you all that have gifted. Thank you so much. We'll go over and thank each and every one of you individually. So newly released video gives more insight in the mind of the California engineer student who dropped off the grid 4 years ago. Dane Elkins disappeared during Christmas season. His car and his belongings found alongside a mountain highway. His social media post and footage from the day he disappeared show Elkins displaying signs of paranoia. His mother, Deborah, said the message included her son talking to the CIA. So it sounds like maybe, some type of schizophrenia. But I also know that the CIA does. I know people don't. We know that the CIA exists. We fund the department. We're not ignorant that we have a Central Intelligence Agency. But who are the members of that? Have you ever noticed we don't never know anybody that's been in the CIA until they retire? The CIA actually does poach college students. They have but it's a little different. Most of the people in the CIA, from my understanding, don't go to the CIA and fill out an application. The CIA comes to you, type of thing, And with him being an engineer student, would that have been a possibility? You know that when you kind of go into the CIA, in part, it's kind of like the witness protection program. Nobody in your life really knows what you do. In some cases they get married and their wives are vetted and they're allowed to know the information. They have the clearance as the husband, and those are in some cases that I've heard. Now, if anybody's been in the CIA and I've got any of this information incorrect, please by all means correct the information. We want accurate information here. That's just my understanding. It seems like there may be some things going on here. So we don't know. But again, this is the missing boy. His name's Dane Elkins. I just want to thank his mom, for pitching in and willing to help a perfect stranger and just talking about your son. And that's all we can do. He's a handsome boy. But, with the car being on the side of the road, I always wonder, especially in mountain areas, is it possible that there was a hit and run that sent him off the mountain? Is there something else? Could his car just been without gas? Could he have been meeting somebody? We don't really know that information. But we do have his photo and we can share his case. All right, guys, this is going to be very, very hard for you. Very hard. The reason why this is going to be very hard is if you have any type of children that live under your roof, you have grandchildren. We just talked about a 16-year-old girl being dismembered yesterday on this show. She ran away from a group home. We had a conversation about, when I hear plastic bags and she ran away and they delayed calling law enforcement, reporting her missing for a week, naturally, my first thought goes back to that group home. I haven't gotten any information on that case yet. But yesterday, there was an arrest made in my area. And this is very chilling to me. And I'm going to play this for you because I think the police chief couldn't have said it better. But I need all of my parents. If you're cooking breakfast or whatever, I need you to stop what you're doing. And I need you to listen for 7 minutes. Because this is our children. They are being preyed upon. They don't know the dangers that lie on these platforms. We do. We deal with the result of social media and other corresponding platforms with concern, especially for children under the age of 18. Again, I want to thank everybody that's already been such a major support this morning. God bless you. Brown Eyed Girl, thank you so much. Decor and More, member for 8 months. 8 months. And Brown Eyed Girl, thank you for becoming the newest member of the Coffee Club. You're strolling into the room. It could be, where's you? There, it could be like this. Whichever you want. We'll let you stroll in here. We'll let you stroll. Hobo's Life, thank you. We are Sebastian's army. Amen. We are. And we're going to get right on into his case because there is so much hypocrisy here. It makes me sick. And we want to give credit to 5D as well as the disgusting hate squad. I get a bad taste in my mouth. Thank you, Lady for Justice. God bless you. Melanie, good morning. She says, happy Saturday. Betty, Delilah, mods and chat, prayers to Seth and Sebastian and all the missing. Amen to that. And Hobo's Life, not keeping Bullhorn Betty a secret. I'm a security threat, by the way, don't you know? Decides to spread the love. So if you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Hobo's Life thank you and our beautiful Gypsy. Thank you for spotlighting kind gesture. Absolutely. The world needs more love and compassion. Amen to that. Our beautiful Melanie gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. So if you received your Bullhorn Betty membership from Melanie, don't forget to tell her thank you. Pretty in pink, you know it. This is the shirt Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy gave me. They knew early on. They knew early on. Oh, Robin, thank you. Good morning to you, beautiful. You and your daughter. I hope you're having a wonderful time. I hope you're having a wonderful time and a wonderful weekend. So now it's time to get back to reality. Okay, guys? Parents, pay attention. We're about to roll into this, and I'm going to tell you it's going to scare the shit out of you. And I want you to be scared. I want the shit to be scared out of you. Excuse my language. I think we covered my cussing for today, but I need you to get scared. I need you to get scared and I need you to take action. That's what I need from my audience because I want to make sure that you, your family and your children are not debuted on the Bullhorn Betty channel. And it's becoming a little more and more common. This is going to be tough, y'all.
The missing juvenile.
Can somebody throw a trigger warning?
Missing on February the 24th. I'm going to outline the timeline for you, but I want to remind you that this is an ongoing investigation. So as law enforcement continue to investigation, things can change at any moment. So here's the timeline how I first started. So yesterday afternoon, we had a witness that came in that said she wanted to provide us information on the missing juvenile from Gulfport.
All right. So who's the missing person from Gulfport? Her name, if I remember correctly, let me just look it up so I don't get her name wrong. Where the heck is her name? Why is it not showing her name? There it is. Miranda Corsette. Okay. She is 16 years old. It's a really sad case because her mom and dad are both deceased and her grandma was taking care of her. And she, from my understanding, has struggled with mental illness and drug dependency. No excuse for a young 16-year-old to be murdered.
Based on the tips and investigation by the detective, we believe that 16-year-old Miranda Corsette was contacted by 35-year-old Stephen Gress on social.
Did you hear that? She is a 16-year-old that was contacted through social media by a 35-year-old man. I don't care what you parents have to do, and I don't care how much your children hate you and want to run away from home because you're a mean parent. Lock your child's phone down. She was 16 years old 2 years from being an adult. Our 16-year-olds, we believe, are responsible. But at the end of the day, just like we don't take our eyes off children, right, that are playing in our front yard, I think it is, we know what the risks are in this world. And it's time for you guys to be hover parents when it comes to social media. This is happening too much, entirely too much. We just had a girl where her father had to kick in a boat door to retrieve his daughter, and there are 5 or 6 men under federal indictment for kidnapping in R. This is happening everywhere. ST is on the rise. Children walking are being plucked. Please do yourself a favor, save your child's life, lock down their social media, oversee their social media, do whatever you can so they are not preyed upon.
Social media on a social media app. And I'm going to stop there for one moment and just want to remind all the parents out
Here it
there,
is.
please, I'm begging you, please, make sure you know what your kids are doing on social media. And to the kids also, if someone is contacting you and are not a family member, please let your parents know. So again, we're talking about a 16-year-old that was contacted by a 35-year-old. On February the 14th, we know that Mr. Gress went to Miranda's home, picked her up, took her to his house, which is located at 2708 27th Avenue North. He took her to the house. She spent the day there. We know he took her back on the 24th. On the 15th of February, we know she went back to the house on her own. Now, on the 20th at the house, there was some type of dispute over some missing jewelry. So from the 20th through the 24th, she was beaten and tortured because they could not find this piece of jewelry. We know that sometime there, she was then killed. Mr. Gress placed her body in his car along with his domestic partner, Michelle Brandis, and they drove her to Largo. In Largo, the detectives found evidence that Miranda was
Is this going to be hard?
Miranda was dismembered at that location. They then placed her in a car and they drove her down to Ruskin where they dumped her into a dumpster. And her body is somewhere possibly in a landfill somewhere in that county. Yesterday, we realized that Mr. Gress was already in custody for pointing a harpoon at his domestic partner and possession of drugs. He is still in county jail as we speak today. We are now looking for Michelle Brandis. The picture's to my left and to your right. Michelle, if you're out there, we're trying to tell you to turn yourself in because we will find you sooner or later. If anybody out there is trying to help Michelle, if we can, we will charge you with the charges we can.
They are not playing.
As of this point, Mr. Gress is being charged with kidnapping Miranda, and this, again, this is an active investigation. More charges are soon to follow. I want to thank the following agencies for helping us out: Gulfport, Largo, and Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, our state and federal partners. Again, this is a horrific crime. We are still investigating it. We want to ensure that we bring justice to Miranda. The investigators are looking at every piece of evidence that we can find. And again, I want to say, we want to hold all responsible parties accountable. So with that, I'll open up for any questions. Both of her parents are deceased, and her grandmother at this time is not ready to talk to anyone.
Can you talk a little bit about the discrepancy between her leaving on the 14th and then being reported missing on the 24th at the 10-day time window? Do you know who reported her missing and why that might have come earlier?
Sure, I'll ask the chief.
Hi there, I'm Commander Mary Fair, and I'm currently the acting chief of police for Gulfport. We are very familiar with Miranda. We know that she is a frequent runaway, and she has a history of mental health issues as well as drug abuse. The grandmother is her primary caregiver at this time, and she said that she normally comes home, so she doesn't report her missing every time she leaves. She just didn't come back in a timely manner this time.
Was it her grandmother that reported the missing?
It was.
And any affiliation with local schools noticing that she was absent for 10 days?
No, Miranda is actually homeschooled.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Any words again to the timeout on this young person who maybe watching this, seeing this, not this crime?
Yeah, we do want to talk to her because, again, she was present when they moved Miranda around. And we want to talk to her. And again, either she can come in and talk to us or we will find her. So again, like you're saying, Michelle, if you're listening, your friends, find your way to the police department and to her friends that think they're helping her. If we can make charges, we will make charges. We have witnesses that says she was there. We have witnesses that said that they saw her along with the defendant with the body being placed in the car.
Unbelievable.
Who lives there? What were they doing there?
That is Michelle's mother's home.
We know that her body may be in a landfill. Are you guys going to find her body?
We're going to do everything possible to bring Miranda home. Again, we know the body.
Depending on when this land search is going to be conducted, we may go out there and film that. I've got to, look at timing, make sure it doesn't interfere with some other obligations, but I'd like to learn a little bit more about this. And we're going to kill it right there. You guys hear the information. You're more than welcome to do your due diligence. I want to show you the pieces of shit that did this to this little girl. And this peach right here is still missing. Now, she could have dyed her hair dark. She could have changed the hair color. They look like trouble. I can't believe that they could injure a child. I mean, just the core decency of humanity is just is in the pits. It truly is in the pits. But anyways, that's kind of the first segment of the show, guys. Thank you for letting me bend your ear. As many of you guys know, I'm going to keep this up just for a few moments because I want you to take a good look at this woman. She's not fair. She has darker medium complexion. I'd have to believe that since this photo was taken, she's probably changed her hair to maybe a dark brown, red, something like that. I don't want to know why a 35-year-old man was reaching out to a 16-year-old girl and went and picked her up. But I have to think it wasn't just to party on substances or to have, men picking up young girls like that have one thing and only one thing in mind. So I hope, I think that this went to a little more than that. I think the girlfriend found out, knew that he would be in trouble, and realized that they had, I don't believe the jewelry. I really don't, but it may be true. It may be true, but there's definitely more going on here. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is a 16-year-old boy that disappeared when he was 15 years old on February 26, 2024, and has not been seen or heard from since. And we had the long intro video, so I'm not going to go through the Reader's Digest version of everything going on. But before we get started, I figured maybe we'll have a little, a little education. Do you want to beat the box? I know there might be a couple people associated with this case that might have already went through the schools of how to beat the box. I don't know. I'm learning, right? I'm learning. I've never had a reason in the world to try to beat the box, but it seems like it doesn't take rocket science to do. And of course, they're completely inadmissible in a court of law. But there's another. Linda Lou, look at you. It's been a while, love bug. I haven't seen you. I hope you're doing okay. Love. Thank you for being here, and God bless you. This is concerning because I know that there are two different types of tests. One of the tests, which they act kind of similar, And one of the tests are admissible in a court of law. And of course, the polygraph term, for the polygraph is not inadmissible in law or in the courts. And I heard that they're kind of simultaneous. They're two different things that they can do at the same time or something like that. I remember hearing it in one of our cases, but I'll have to get some more details on that so we know exactly what that other test is called that is admissible in a court of law.
It's not a matter of beating the poly test because there's no right or wrong answer. And poly results, they're not admissible in court anyway. For a job I once had, I was trained to manipulate the poly and aced it. To manipulate the poly, you got to fuck with your blood pressure and respiration. And like any good student, you need to prep for the test. So, pop a 10 milligram Valium and put down a couple cans of Red Bull. Then wash your hands in mineral oil to neutralize the galvanic response. When asked a question, fire off an answer immediately, then think about something else. Don't concentrate on the question or what you said, just push it out of your mind. Before the test, the examiner is going to ask control questions, like what is your name and have you lie, so they can see what truth or deception looks like. When asked control questions, covertly bite down on the back of your tongue, just hard enough to cause some pain, and that'll throw the control results off. Hey, relax and best of luck. It's not a matter of beating the...
I just thought I'd throw that out there. So this is coming down to the hypocrisy. As many of you guys know, we've been talking about the hypocrisy, not just the circus, but the flat out hypocrisy, and the intentional disruption of a case for profit, right? So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is content creators that truly were using their brain and realized that something is not right with Chris and Katie have flipped the script and went over to Team Katie and Chris, which we all know has 5 CPS reports. There's a history of abuse here. There's a history of past spousal abuse. We've heard the Nina story. We have enough to corroborate that there were abuses, and most likely were abuses inside that home related to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Now, you'd have to say, well, what made them change their mind? What made them flip the script? It's very easy, because they're loyal to a piece of shit named Jonathan Lee Riches that had that got into a disagreement, or maybe I should quit sugarcoating it. Seth wanted nothing more to do with him. Something happened. It rocked the boat with Seth. That's what happened. And he just didn't want any more to do with him. They took it personally. They flipped the script and they started to attack him. Not because he was a grieving father, not because, he was a horrible father, not because of any other thing than hurt feelings. That's it. That's the only reason why they turned and started to attack him. I want you to hear this. Thank you, 5D, for putting this out here. I want you guys to hear this, because she clipped Gaping Lake, and we're going to cover it up because I'm not giving Gaping Lake a plug. You guys, if you don't know who Gaping Lake is, you will once you hear her voice. We're not giving Gaping Lake a plug because she is a POS. She used to care about the victims, but she meddled into something that had nothing to do with her. It was between Jonathan Lee Riches and Seth Rogers. But for him to gang up with all these people to try to destroy this man and everybody that tries to help him, I'm going to be coming to see you pretty soon with my damn bullhorn. You keep it up. That's what I'm going to do, because I am a professional protester, activist, and advocate. And when I see an injustice, I usually act. I've been very, very kind. I don't know if I'm going to be very, very kind much longer. I have constitutional rights, and I'm great at making sure that we address issues. This is my only and final shot across the bow to curtail some of this stuff, because it's bullcrap. I live in Florida. I can move freely in Florida. I have no problem walking on public property and doing my job. I am a one-man show. But what I'm not going to do is keep allowing this hypocrisy. Let's listen to this POS when she actually had nuggets upstairs and wasn't on a mental spiral out of control because she lost integrity. She lost respect upon throughout the true crime community. Let's listen. I accidentally hit the wrong button. Let me put it back up here. Now I'm probably going to have to plug the B. All right, let's get our cover up. I'm going to cover us up. This is a courtesy of 5D. It's not that I'm trying to cover her up, but she kind of puts people up there. I don't plug people. I'll cover their face in a quickness. I don't need their kind of evil. I'll talk about them. I'll drag them, but I don't need to plug them.
Last night we did watch Sebastian Rogers. I'm reading the screen. We watched his parents on Duchess podcast last night. And I did clip that part. I'm going to upload it into a separate video because if you didn't get to see it, I want to know what you guys think. My lizard buddy's actually hanging out in the window with me. But I want to know what you guys think about that interview because I watched the behavior panel. Like we had homework last night. We were like, okay, we're going to watch the behavior panel. We're going to watch the dad on Call Into Pascal show. So I watched both.
Is it echoing?
This is my takeaway from the fathers.
Guys, is it echoing? Somebody said it's echoing. Did we have echoing in that? Yes? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you guys got to let me know. Okay, let's see if this helps. Excuse me. Let me see if this helps. Let me know if this helps.
Interview on Pascal show.
Is that better?
A, he's distraught. B, he's missing his son. He's out there searching alone. He, from what I heard, is a sheriff's deputy at the jail. That he works for the sheriff's department at the jail. And he talked about his son coming over every other weekend. He moved closer in Tennessee. He's not from Tennessee. He moved there to be close to his son.
All right, let me try setting it. Sometimes you got to take the echo off. It might be pulling through because it all should be coming through. Automatically adjust volume, reduce background noise. Let me see if I can fix that. Maybe that'll help it. If not, we're just going to have to roll with it.
Yeah, it's hot today. It's hot today, Annie. But he moved to Tennessee to be.
Well, we didn't have that problem on other. Was I echoing yesterday when I was running? Let me see what you guys said. Automatic remove. I've had that. I have removed the echo because I'm using no, not yesterday. So just today. So something's changed. Okay. Now I'm going to play this. No echoes yesterday. Okay. Hopefully I may have to refresh, but no big deal if we do. I want you guys to get this because you hear how this lint licker was talking about this beautiful boy before she got her feelings hurt. When you get your feelings hurt from people, you what you don't do. Am I echoing? I shouldn't be echoing. The press conference was a little echoey too. Okay. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. I got my echo setting on. She had no problem. One thing I can't stand is if you're here for a victim, no matter how your feelings get hurt, you stick with the facts, you stick with the information, and you follow the trail. And when she got her feelings hurt, her integrity, class, and character were really on display. because you don't flip the script and go, oh, well, we know something's not right here, right? We know there's nothing right here, but then all of a sudden, oh, I got my feelings hurt. Oh, well, Seth's a horrible person. He's a pedo. That's what happened. It was just like that because this was early on. Listen to how this bee, the stinky cockroach that she's become, look how far she's fallen. Nobody goes. We used to go to J for what? A long time for accurate information. Nobody goes there for that now. They go there for drama. She's hanging out with people that tried to destroy her channel. That's desperation. That's pretty desperate. But I'm sure she's losing a crap ton of money at this point because nobody listens to her, nobody likes her, and she's being propped up by the hate channels. Well, that money's going to run out eventually.
He's distraught. B, he's missing his son. He's out there searching alone. He, from what I heard, is a sheriff's deputy at the jail. That he works for the sheriff's department at the jail. And he talked about his son coming over every other weekend. He moved closer in Tennessee. He's not from Tennessee. He moved there.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know. Let me tell you something about me. I'm true blue to the core. I've had money. I haven't had money. I've been broke. I had hundreds of thousands of dollars in a bank account. Okay? I will tell you, not one single dollar or cent will ever allow me to do what this lady did. This is my full-time job, right? This is where I get my income to survive, where I get my income to advocate for other people in my community, how I get funding for the trips that I take to cover these cases. I will never sell out who I am as a person or my channel over money. Ever. Ever. Many people don't know, but in 2023 and going into 2024, when that unscrupulous PI fraudulently filed a copyright action in somebody else's name against me, which is a federal crime, by the way. When my channel was shut down for 3 months, I made $200. $200. I had to feed myself, clothe myself, put groceries on the table, pay my bills. $200 a month for 3 solid months. I will never sell out myself or my channel for money. Ever.
To be close to his son. It's hot today. It's hot today, Annie. But he moved to Tennessee to be close to his son. And he talked about the recliners.
I'm gonna let this play.
How they would both.
I'm going to step away just for a second. I need to find my vape, but I'm going to go ahead and let this play through until I get back.
Sit in the recliner.
Is it still? By the way, is it still echoing real bad? Let me just check that. Oh, that echo. LOL. Okay, let me just refresh. All right, I took it all the way back to where nothing was on the screen because I was wondering if maybe it was playing in through another like a YouTube account that might have been up. So that hopefully we'll figure it out. But we're going to go on with Gaping Lake. JJ.
Moved to Tennessee to be close to his son.
Hopefully that's better.
And he talked about, the recliners. And how they would both sit in the recliners and play PlayStation. How his dad would let him play video games. Dad would let him play video games, but with his friends and his friends list only.
Okay, well, there's nothing.
His dad also said that he would not wear headphones so that he could hear what he was doing and what he was saying and who he was talking to. But this interview that I found on really interesting. Yeah, we're going to listen to that in a second. And then the other thing was the behavior panel. So they did not think that they were being deceitful.
Okay, well, then we won't listen to it. I don't think I'm going to have anything for you guys to listen to if I can't run it through my system. Yeah, I don't know what to do because I've got audio. You know what? Let me do this. I'm going to listen to myself here real quick and see what the heck I can figure out what's going on. Give me a second. I can't hear it. I'm going by you guys and it's driving me nuts because it's always a lag. Can't hear it. I'm going by. Okay. Just covertly bite down on the back of your tongue. Just lint liquor.
You talk to anyone.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, last night we did watch.
That's not too bad. I mean, it's echoing, but you guys can hear what she's saying. Sometimes it's so disturbing and so distracting. It sounds like it's in stereo mode. Hold on, let me see if I can change it. Stereo mode. Echo cancellation needs to be checked in order to go into stereo mode. I don't know if this is going to fix it or not. I have no idea. I'm going forward. Let me know if it's better. If it's not, stick around, don't stick around. I'm going to still keep going with it because this has been so ultra distracting.
Today, Annie. But he moved to Tennessee to be close to his son. And he talked about, their recliners and how they would both sit in the recliners and play PlayStation. How his dad would let him play video games.
Okay, good.
Dad would let him play video games, but with his friends and his friends list only. His dad also said that he would not wear headphones so that he could hear what he was doing and what he was saying and who he was talking to. But this interview that I found on really interesting. Yeah, we're going to listen to that in a second. And then the other thing was the behavior panel. So they did not think that they were being deceitful. They thought that their body language and everything that they analyze and the way that they stayed consistent, they did not see any red flags, according to them.
I just want to say this, and many of you guys know this. I do not care for the detective, the behavior panel and their assessment of this case. They did it. I have taken Chase Hughes' class. I've got a book that an audience member sent to me. And I'm telling you, the cues that they were saying weren't cues were not what they taught us. And I always thought, because this was in the middle of law enforcement, and law enforcement really didn't want any indication that, the parents could be responsible. And I felt like that we know that they work heavily with law enforcement. Is this what they did to kind of throw people off? They've never done an update since. They've never come back out to, in Summer Wells, they did several series of different statements. They just stopped. They did the one statement. It was absolutely a horrible rendering. In my opinion, their analysis sucked. I absolutely do not believe in it. Deception detective does not really care for behavior, like the body language experts. They believe in speech pattern, which is kind of the same, right? You have an orthopedic surgeon versus a chiropractor. The ortho says chiropractors are bad. Chiropractors say they just try to take your money, right? So it's kind of a tomato, I'm better, apples and oranges type of situation. But at the end of the day, I felt we were duped by the behavior panel. Still to this day, I feel like we were duped by the behavior. I stopped watching them after that, to be honest with you. I have not been back to the behavior panel since their analysis of this case. That's how bad I totally disagreed with them.
But the interview with Duchess is more telling than any media interview, and is that this interview with Duchess was first. So they didn't talk for like a week while this kid was missing to the media or anybody else. And then they went on her podcast, and then they started doing, a couple media interviews or whatever. But that's how that whole thing went down. And it's very sus. I hate to say it. I don't like saying that. But I don't like saying that about parents. I don't. It's just really sad. And there's red flags I can't ignore. So when you hear from and
I gotta say the same thing. The Duchess interview. What did we learn? We learned that from the interview room, Steve Johnson. He is a statement analysis, and Steve Johnson said, we need to find the first interview, because I didn't even know about Duchess. Duchess is a smaller channel. I've never paid attention to her because it was apparent early on in my YouTube journey that she didn't like me. I don't know who she is. I don't know how you can make an assessment. I mean, I went to her Facebook page. She's flipping me all types of stuff. I don't even know this lady. I think the lady has got some problems, personally speaking. And to take off to a motorcycle rally with a mom of a child missing, I think is despicable. I have no respect for the lady, okay? I have no respect for Duchess. I have no respect for those that are okay with that kind of conduct from a true crime content creator. I find it appalling. So either way, I still went back and listened to the interview. Very poor, in my opinion, a very poor interview. Why? Because they had a lot of leading questions. If you guys know anything about me, I ask the questions and I shut my pie hole. Why? Because I want to hear their answer, not a fed answer. Why? Because I'm searching for the flippin' truth. Not trying to coddle parents. Even if the parents had nothing to do with it, you don't answer. You don't answer. Okay.
Dad, which we're going to play right now. I don't know if there was a custody battle. The dad said that he was getting ready to come live with him in the beginning of the summer. And Seth. And I'm sure that since Chris Proudfoot was too much of a pussy to interview with Nick Barris because he has a sack. And
Did you guys hear her? She actually sounded like one of us once upon a time. What happened? You know what happened? It's called hurt feelings. I get my feelings hurt all the time, right? You don't see me doing a 180 on a case because I got my feelings hurt. Okay? Or I don't like somebody covering the case. Or I slept with somebody's boyfriend and they're pissed off.
To interview with Nick Barris because he has a sack and he's going to ask him tough questions. I mean, did you see Nick Barris ask the sheriff, the deputy Craddock or whatever, Craddock, the cutie patootie sheriff? He asked.
I'm not sure, Barb. I think this is a, she got caught with her pants down, and her and the she's a married woman. I think that she had no idea but to align to combat the allegations. Just my personal opinion. And that's when her mouth started getting sour. Sometimes I walk right into poo-poo, don't I?
Asked him about those lights, and he did not hold back.
And so I just jumped in the truck with him.
Okay. Gotcha. And then that's it. You guys did a search and No strange, no odd interaction. He didn't say anything that would have made, I don't know, spark any kind of red flags or anything of that sort.
No.
Okay.
So no red flags. I find that hard to believe because Chris Proudfoot is one big, huge red flag. Okay.
Oh my gosh! I don't know whether to applause or laugh. She actually says that Chris Proudfoot is. What happened? What bombshell information did she receive besides hurt feelings and probably divorce papers? I don't know. I don't know her personal business, but you know, I'm just curious. I'm just curious here because it sure looks like she did a 180 without any type of evidence for the 180. You know, we're all following the same information. It's just some are profiting off of hate because they need money versus doing the right thing. We will always do the right thing here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. It's never the easy thing, but it's the right thing.
One huge red flag in Chris Proudfoot. So, maybe this is why Mathis is there to make it so Seth doesn't have to talk to them anymore.
Oh my gosh, she actually, it seemed like, hey Tony, I got to put the screen up for this. You got to see me. Tony, I think she actually liked you once upon a time. What did you do to piss in her Cheerios? I'm asking for a few thousand people over here. What did you do to this lady? I already know the answer. You came to her with a little common sense after she took the flip, right? Sorry.
More.
Couldn't help myself.
Y'all.
Looked like she actually liked you. Aww.
What if he's put there so he doesn't have to talk to Chris and Katie? Went weird. Let's watch that last part once more. Hang on.
Chris went with me for one night to go check out some leads that were coming off of Facebook, but they were 3 days old, I think. And after that, no. They say they're doing it. They say they're out there handing out flyers, putting out signs, getting billboards up, things of that sort. But they're not where I'm at.
What was that like?
Oh, so he's already, everybody's starting. You guys got to remember all this. Hey, Cajun, it's nice to see you, love. We've got to remember all this. Remember all the funk that was going on at the beginning of the case. What does it say? I watched her till she got nasty towards Seth because of hurt feelings. You know what it tells me? It tells me she's weak. She does her work based on emotion, not fact or law. The law is blind. I tell you guys all the time. There's no emotion in the law. We are emotional human beings. But the law and facts aren't emotional. They can create emotion. I get that. But they're not emotional. The facts are the facts. The law is the law.
How was the interaction? How was the search with him? Was it awkward?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it was. It was awkward as fuck.
It was not awkward. I was the passenger side. I was the passenger in the truck, and he.
I don't think I'd ever be a passenger in the truck. What did I say when they were looking for motorcycles? Do you guys remember the comment I made when they were looking for motorcycles? Let me tell you the comment I made looking for motorcycles. I told them they probably should get one. We'd probably find out who did what a lot quicker because somebody's going to go off a mountain, right? They're going to take that cruise. Next thing you know, the only eyewitness is going to go poof, gone. I actually wish they would have gotten the motorcycles. I don't know what the hesitation was. I wonder if one of them was scared of being driven off a mountain. Because right, you're riding, got the wind between, you go through your hair, and then just get the foot and just go whomp, right? The next thing you know, oh my gosh, he took the curb and he just didn't make it. It was a horrifying experience. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Serenity, 10 months. Thank you, Love Bug. Thank you so much. And Grace, I don't think I got you, Reality. I want to put you up on screen too. Hold on, let me see, make sure I missed. And our beautiful Linda Lou. I don't think I said hi to you, Teresa. I can't remember. Thank you, guys. Good gracious. Thank you. Hope Floats gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Teresa, thank you. God bless you. Our beautiful Linda Lou. It's nice to see you. I don't mean to keep rhyming, but you have you in the end of your name, and I think it goes with just about every word in the American dictionary. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Reality Wins says, bring Sebastian, bring him home. Sebastian's Army, amen. Our beautiful Jen, it's nice to see you here. Gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Look at that. You didn't have to do that. You worked too darn hard. I mean, you're trying to whack a troll. Trying to rack a troll over here. Serenity, 10 months says, I watched her until she got nasty toward Seth. Grace, Grave Crime with Grace. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. Thank God for Mr. Tony and all he's doing for Seth and Sebastian. Good to meet you last week. Absolutely. Amen to that. And of course, Smiley's World says, two-faced much, lady? Exactly. Exactly. When we get mad, oh, thank you, Amos. Amos and Liz. It's nice to see you. Thank you so much. God bless you. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, we got memberships flying off the shelf here. We got them flying off the shelf. Everyone's going to be walking into the Bullhorn Betty channel like this. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Witchy Mama says, oh, I just popped up on me. I'm so glad that it's not my oral filter that leaks sometimes. Love it. Love it. You guys are great. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you so much. But you see, these people, even that chlamydia chick, right? Like Hobo the Clown. I shouldn't give Hobo a bad name. I'm so sorry, Hobo's life. But Bobo the Clown and Scarecrow, they didn't used to always be like that. They saw the BS too, but it was more profitable to put blinders on. It was more profitable to put blinders on. That's sad. That's sad. No moral compass. All for the dollar bill, y'all. All for the dollar bill, y'all. But they're the first ones to scream everybody else is grifting. Even the father, right? They can put his son's name into their titles. # Sebastian Rogers. And sit there and make fun of people for a solid hour before they even cough out this boy's name. Do we really want them advocating for a child that we know was bullied by some school members or students and by his own mom and dad, stepdad? Mom and her husband. He ain't a stepdad. I hate hearing stepfather, stepdad. I got to get better about that myself. But at the end of the day, good gracious, that's not the type of representation people need. We need people out there saying his name, talking about his case, talking about the facts of the case, not the propaganda and narrative-driven bullcrap.
He was driving around. He's familiar with the area a lot more than I am. So he knew from the Facebook tip where to go. And so I just jumped in the truck with him.
What did I miss? What did I miss? You guys are like, go back. What is it? What is it? Has anybody seen any billboards that live in that area? I haven't heard. I don't know. Don't come in here gaslighting me today, guys. Not in the mood. Don't come in here gaslighting me.
Don't go in there gaslighting, y'all. Don't go in there gaslighting. Gaping Late might have some hurt feelings, and then she'll start turning on you. Thank you, Miss Robin. Thank you. Sorry, I'm still eating my sausage egg biscuit. Don't mind me chomping behind the microphone. But I find it awfully interesting that this hate channel didn't used to always be a hate channel. Obviously, the facts haven't changed, so why did she? It's called hurt feelings and being in your emotions. Maybe she needs a safe space in a coloring book. I'm not sure. Maybe she needs to go to Chili's with Jonathan again. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I am listening to the own words of these interviews. I'm not making my shit up. I'm not playing shit with voice changers. This is their own words. And I don't know why anyone would have a problem with that. So let me know what you're hearing. Looked with him first day from a 3-day-old Facebook tip. I don't know when they went searching though. I don't think he said the first day.
Do we know what day? Does anybody remember that's in my chat? Do you guys remember what day? I know that there was a small little search that Chris and Seth did. They did it only one time, and we know master manipulators, and we've seen horrible people that did horrible things be part of the initial search efforts. Do you know why it stopped? Because I think Chris felt uncomfortable. I think he was too concerned about letting something slip, quite frankly. Yeah, Harold, we know that there's an echo. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just this, it's whatever connection. We didn't have this issue yesterday, but apparently we do today. So we're just going to have to grin and bear it for the show purposes.
Let's listen again.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's listen again.
I must have missed that. Let's listen to that part again. You've seen nothing in East Tennessee? There's supposed to be like blips.
Chris went with me for one night to go check out some leads that were coming off.
He didn't say the first night.
No, he said one night. He said just one night. So it sounds like it was in the evening. But I do appreciate you being here, Harold. It's just that we've tried. I've reset it. I've done everything. The only thing that I can possibly do is unhook my equipment, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have to figure out a different alternative. You know what? Let me see something here. Let me go to my audio. Do I need my speaker here? I do need my speaker, but could I change it to a default speaker? Would this help, or would it make it worse? That's the question. All right, guys, tell me if this makes it worse or not. I just changed the speaker it comes out of.
Because they couldn't search the first night. When LE was out there searching with their drones and everything else, they weren't allowed to search. So this was a different night. Chris probably fucked with him one night and said, "Oh hey, I got this lead." And he probably got Seth in the truck and fucking threatened him or something. What? Fight me? Does that seem far off from a Chris Proudfoot? From a Chris Proudfoot, what would you call it? Tactic to get Seth alone. Look at how he confronted him at the vigil, guys. Look at how he confronted him at the vigil. That was not a nice conversation. That was very confrontational. He had
Cajun's like, it's bad enough having to listen to her. What? Let me listen. Let me take this off. Good gracious, the horrible. It's like once we get one thing fixed, it's like another thing. I really dislike, if I can say that, I can't say that enough. I certainly, I wonder if I can go into my settings. Maybe that's the problem. Let me go to my audio settings. I might kick the whole thing. I don't know. Sound. Let's see what our sound settings are. Excuse me. Okay, we got the mic. Internal mic. That might be the problem. Let's just change it to this. Let's change our output to this. Maybe this will fix it. I don't know. I hardly doubt it. It seems like we're kind of stuck with the once it starts screwing up, it's like it's so stinking hard to stop it. We can sound card. We got the sound card default. We got the sound card default. Who knows? We'll try it again. I got the echo off. It seemed to work yesterday. If it's worse, it will have to address it. I'll take it back to stereo.
He was all up in Seth's personal space. And Chris Proudfoot gives himself away too. He says Sebastian was in people's personal space. No. No. That man, Chris Proudfoot, Seth's biggest cheerleader, he called him that himself, and he's being a smartass. I'm Seth's biggest cheerleader.
Fuck directly off.
No, you're not. I'm a smartass.
Listen to this.
Biggest cheerleader, he called him that. No.
Listen.
No. That man, Chris Proudfoot, Seth's biggest cheerleader, he called him that himself, and he's being a smartass.
Oh, so it sounded like this cockroach actually had some. Yes, I know. I checked it. I turned my mic down and I listened to it. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. So that's why I put my thumb up. I knew you guys would appreciate that. It was a setting. I should have changed the setting in the audio settings of Apple of my MacBook Pro, and I didn't. I just changed the output. So it should be fixed now. Sorry about that, guys. But now we got it cleared up. I only made you guys listen to her voice. I just didn't think you guys had enough love for Gaping Lake. So I just wanted to make sure that if you guys didn't hear her the first time, you heard her the second time. That's all. That's all, folks. Jeez. Oh. Why isn't it playing? Oh, there we go.
I'm Seth's biggest cheerleader.
Oh, good God.
Fuck directly off.
No, you're not. I bet you he got poor Seth in that truck saying that there was a lead on Facebook and fucking threatened him. That he's not a nice dude. And that was in front of people. Exactly. So what I'm saying is we have to take what Chris Proudfoot does in front of people and says with no shame, like, I gave him a whack over the clothes with a belt. Imagine what he...
Oh my gosh, you mean she actually had a problem with an autistic child being hit by a grown man even over the belt? What? What? You have got to be kidding me. Nothing shocking. She did her due diligence. It's called... You are so full of it. It's not even funny. What due diligence did she do? I'm asking. What due diligence seeking the missing did she do? Because I actually spent real hard-earned money and went out there and did what was known as due diligence. I went to the job. I made sure I had a good understanding of what truly transpired out there. I did the due diligence. What due diligence did this CU nut do? I'm asking, what did she do to verify any of this? As far as I can see, she was the one that was peddling out bunk information that I called her out on. The Ruckus video. What due diligence did she do on that? Because I was the one that came out after going there and realizing there's no possibility that that could have been the thing. Same as everyone else has done. Well, you know what? The rest of the crew outside of your disgusting ecosystem says there's red flags all over the place. Get the fuck out of my chat and don't ever come back here again. Go back to your baby abusers and baby killers. Kick her out.
Really did. Behind closed doors.
Let me do it.
For Facebook, but they were 3 days
Go back
old.
to your
I
baby
think.
killers.
And after that, no. They say that.
Okay, so that tells me that Chris Proudfoot did, in fact, have an ulterior motive for taking him out there, because he said he took him out there for 3-day-old leads. He took him out there for 3-day-old leads and never, ever helped him again.
Now, that, for that disgusting, vile person in my chat that says they're missing for people, sit down. Sit down. I wouldn't let you go searching for my dog. I wouldn't let you go searching for my dog. But she had the facts here. These facts are still undisputed right now to this day. No matter how much due diligence you do, those facts are still the same. Chris only went out searching one time. What due diligence? I won't let you speak again, not in my chat. But what I can tell you is I wouldn't even let you search for my dog. I wouldn't want any of you people being around any living creature because you don't know if it's going to live or die.
Did I ask you what somebody I don't even know
Thank you. You can't see me.
Look at Pascal. He's like, oh my God. They know what's going on, guys. So I'm hoping, the more that I think about this, I'm hoping that this Tony is not a shyster.
And Tony has never been a shyster. Tony is the only person that has kept the bumper car on the tracks. Okay? Quite frankly, Tony and his wife are kind of the locomotive of this. And Seth's the coal. He's the one keeping the engine going. But it's Tony that's keeping the train on the tracks. She knew that back then. What happened? You know what happened? Her side piece got pissed off. That's what happened.
But I really feel like Chris Proudfoot has been playing Seth for 2 months. And he can't tell it all yet. He can't.
I want to know how many conversations this CUN nut has had with Chris Proudfoot. I mean, that idiot that was just in my chat that we sent home crying says she did her due diligence. Well, wouldn't the due diligence be part, like, speaking to Christopher Proudfoot and interrogating him? Because I can guarantee that I'm happy to ask any question she has to anybody. But what questions has she provided? What questions? What kind of questions has she had an opportunity to ask anybody, a party to this case? Besides third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh hand. And oh, by the way, let me call my friends so they can call on my show and act like they're some type of real person that's associated with the case. Oh, let's not forget about the manufacturing of information in all these chat rooms so you guys had some news to talk about. What about that? Oh, that's right. They got busted for all that before they flipped the switch. How did I forget? I wonder if that had anything to do with why they flipped the switch.
If you listen to him, put the shit out there, you're probably right.
They're doing it. They say they're out there handing out flyers, putting out signs, getting billboards up, things of that sort. But they're not where I'm at.
What was that like? How was the interaction? How was the search with him? Was it awkward?
No, it wasn't.
Everything's awkward with Chris Proudfoot.
It was not awkward. I was the passenger side. I was the passenger in the truck, and he was driving around. He's familiar with the area a lot more than I am. So he knew from the Facebook tip where to go. And so I just jumped in the truck with him.
Chris received a lead. So this comes down to the stuff I have like a major problem with. Why wasn't that turned over to law enforcement? Chris has a lead? What? Chris has a lead, a 3-day-old lead, and now he's ready to go ride out with the father? I keep wondering, was this before or after he kicked Seth out of the house? I bet you it was before. I'd have to assume. I don't know that for a fact. Seth is here and he wants to answer. He's more than welcome to. But I'd have to assume it happened within those first 3 days. Because after those first 3 days, things just weren't right between them again. Just my opinion. You know, I don't know if that's accurate or not. But that's just my opinion because I'm trying to use this thing called problem solving and common sense. And it would tell me that we know that there was a major fracture in their relationship by day 3, which just so happens to be at the time that Chris gets in his car and disappears for 24 hours under the guise that he had to go get his camper. Let's not forget that.
Okay. Gotcha. And then that's it. You guys did a search and no strange, no odd interaction. He didn't say anything that would have made, I don't know, spark any kind of red flags or anything of that sort.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. We know that can't be true because we've watched enough Chris Proudfoot to know that he's one big, huge red.
Boom! Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Seemed like she was doing for the idiot that I had to kick out of my chat because they're an idiot. It seems like she did a lot of due diligence in making her assessments here. So what additional due diligence did she do? Did she go to Tennessee? Did she validate information? Who did she speak to? What made her change her mind outside of hurt feelings and called it instead and being caught being a gaping lake? You know? Oh, and by the way, where is that lawsuit that she threatened me with? Just a few things that I got questions about.
Flag, like I said before. So now we're going to watch this quick video, another hour with Nancy's interview with them, because it is very telling at this juncture with what we know now. And we know a hell of a lot more now than we did a month ago. Do we not? For the exact date of this interview is March 25th. We're now at May 6th, guys. It's now May 6th. And Katie and Chris are very interesting to watch and listen to. So you guys, I ask you to please put on your listening ears because this is very important. And we're going to have another Nancy Grace on Tuesday, tomorrow. So let's listen to this and get your snacks, get your popcorn, your colossal popcorns, whatever it is you fancy.
Oh, sounds like she was pretty well informed at the date of these statements. What possible due diligence could she have done at this point more than she has already done? Maybe it has to do with that statement that she made about how drama pays more. You guys remember her saying, she said that, over the last several years, she said that multiple times, but she never engaged in it. So that tells me she's having financial problems, maybe why I don't have a lawsuit. I don't know. I'm pretty sure her side piece is willing to contribute the filing fee.
Because we bought snacks because, he's 15 and snacks.
Here we go.
A lot of speculation, but let's start with what we know to be true. Joining me right now, an all-star panel, but first,
see, this is why I like Nancy Grace, because you go with what you know.
Oh! I heard she was getting a little, I heard she was getting a little upset with some of the commentary I was having. So I figured side piece was appropriate. Keeps me out of legal hot water. Right? He's not the entree. We all know that.
And what we know are the things she's about to talk about.
Guests joining us, Katie and Chris Proudfoot. This is Sebastian's biological mother and his stepfather, who were in their home with Sebastian when he goes missing. To both of the Proudfoots, thank you for being with us. I want to go.
They didn't correct her, who were both in the house when Sebastian went missing. Neither one.
I actually think she did that on purpose because they kept saying he wasn't in the house. And then she's like, oh, he wasn't in the house. Well, Mr. Proudfoot, where were you? I think Nancy is smarter than a lot of people give her credit for, because one of the biggest, the easiest way to extrapolate information is acting clueless. Honestly, right? If you already know the answer to it, you go up to somebody, you're like, really? Like, does it work this way? And I don't know about that. Can you show me? Oh, that's how you do it. Ah. Oh, okay. Didn't realize that. Thank you so very much. So you knew how to do that. Interesting. Being a dummy, I'm telling you, it's the best. I mean, the absolute best way to get some intel and some information. People love to help people. Always remember that. Think about it. If somebody came up to you for help, would you help them? Of course you would. I mean, unless they look like somebody that terrified you, then you'd probably run back in your house. But if it looks like a little, somebody dressing nice and they're just all types of confused, they look harmless and they're asking you for your help, you're going to tell me you ain't going to help them? Of course you're going to help them. That's the beauty of it.
One of them said, no, ma'am, that's incorrect. I wasn't here.
Miss Proudfoot, I understand that the day before, which would have been Sunday, if I've got the information correct, that you guys went out, you went to dinner, you went to somewhere, I believe you said BJ's, where he had a, quote, colossal popcorn. Then you
Yes,
came
ma'am.
home that night, and around 9 p.m., you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says, okay, he goes to his room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That night, I understand from previous statements you've made that you went to bed around midnight. Is that correct?
It is.
And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight or before or after?
No, ma'am. We went to bed around the same time because we were on the phone together.
See? There it is. Now she has an opportunity to segue into something else because he answered a question.
And
He was not home.
please excuse any of my
Oh, she just says he's not home. He wasn't home. Hold on. Okay, I'm not going to be looking at chat because if I look at chat, I get thrown off. Okay, so.
Now you guys know why people that run their own show don't read chat. It's hard to do.
Don't hate on me. I'll get to your super chats and stuff. I need to focus so I can walk through this.
You went to somewhere.
Seems like she was pretty focused. Seemed like she had all her facts at this point in the game. We know that she's playing Nancy Grace. I'd have to believe that this is the next day after the Nancy Grace show because that's what she does. She doesn't really get any content for herself. She just plays other people's. Well, how am I supposed to complain? That's what I'm doing right now, right? Yeah, it's what we do. But let's be honest. She seemed to have a good handle on facts, did she not? There hasn't been a whole lot. There has been literally no other facts that have been presented to the public to change where we were on March 20th when the Nancy Grace show aired. What additional information? The lights video has already come out. I've already condemned them for having, or it was shortly after this where I start condemning them for having no facts about the lights weren't on the outside of that garage. They were on the inside. The only way you're going to get figures on the outside of the garage is if they're standing in front of the light source. Well, if the light source is in the garage, the only way you're going to get any type of movement on the outside of that garage is if somebody's standing on the inside of the garage and the garage door is open. That's not what we see here. So she seemed to have her facts. She seemed to have done her due diligence, and she seems to be speaking very knowledgeable about the facts that we do know as true and correct, not the rumors. She went from what? Just only focusing on the facts to now only focusing on the salacious rumors that have nothing to support them? That seems pretty odd for an intelligent true crime content creator. Just saying.
believe you said BJ's, where he had a quote colossal popcorn. Then you
Yes,
came
ma'am.
home that night, and around 9 p.m. you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says okay, he goes to his room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That night, I understand from previous statements you've made that you went to bed around midnight. Is that correct?
It is.
And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight or before or after?
No, ma'am. We went to bed around the same time because we were on the phone together.
And
He was not home.
please excuse any of my questions. I'm simply trying to find out more about that night. Do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
He wasn't actually in the home at all that weekend.
Watch her face.
You were not home.
Segue.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
Mr. Proudfoot.
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
And what were you doing in Memphis?
Working.
Where do you work?
I'm currently working, or was working, at the St. Jude Children's Hospital construction project.
It makes me wonder if he may have lied under oath, because he said he was working at the St. Jude's project when we went to court in, when was it, September, November? And clearly I don't think he's been back to the St. Jude's project, according to this.
Yes, I'm very familiar with St. Jude's.
And you know what also? This is another thing that kind of makes me question some things. And it comes back to, I lost my train of thought. I don't know why I lost my train of thought. Let me just go back just ever so slightly and listen to what they were talking about. I think I got to go back 20 seconds.
Minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
Oh, I know what it was. Somebody said, I think it was on Crime Time Buzz. One of my audience members sent me Crime Time Buzz's one of her lives she did, and I was listening to it, and she says that they can hear somebody coughing in the background of this interview when they were doing it on Nancy Grace. Now, I hadn't paid attention to it that much, but one thing that I did know when this was released is somebody kept saying they were hearing typing. Like somebody's typing stuff and turning it, and it looks like at times that they're reading whatever is there. I mean, you can see, when somebody's reading, their eyes move, and your eyes typically move from left to right when you're reading something, because that's the way the English language is written. And so you can see some distinct left to right movements on the on Nancy Grace, as if they're reading something. So since now that Crime Time Buzz is kind of bringing out the fact that there may have been additional people inside this camper when they were giving this interview to Nancy Grace, it makes me wonder, we kept thinking it was Katie typing. Could it have been somebody feeding them responses about this case? Is that possible? I believe it could be possible. We've heard that. I didn't notice the coughing, but Crime Time Buzz indicated it. They were playing it. I still wasn't paying attention to it, but she stopped the show to say, yes, we hear the coughing. So there is something, I feel, more going on is outside of the view of the camera that we don't see.
What were you doing in Memphis?
Working.
Where do you work?
I'm currently working, or was working, at the St. Jude Children's Hospital construction project.
Yes, I'm very familiar with St. Jude's. You said you were working there. Are you no longer working there?
Right now, that's up in the air.
Well, you've been gone ever since Sebastian went missing, so I understand. When you are home, do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a 3-bedroom home?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is your room as it relates to Sebastian's room?
It's on the opposite end of the house. The master bedroom's on one side and the other 2 bedrooms are on the other side of the house.
Okay, so your master bedroom is on one side of the house and Sebastian's room is on the other side of the house. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you have a third bedroom that I believe you keep for your other daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Faith? Is your other daughter named Faith?
Yes, ma'am.
He did not like her saying that
Okay.
name.
So where is Faith's bedroom as it relates to Sebastian's bedroom?
It's in the back side of the house. Sebastian's bedroom is
So
on the
it's-
front side of the house.
Okay. So his bedroom is away from Faith's bedroom and away from your master bedroom. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Sebastian's room on a top or a ground level?
We have a ranch style house. It's a 1.5 story. So everything's flat, and then you have the bonus room above the garage.
Okay. So his is on ground floor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That morning, was there any sign of a break-in through a window, a front door, a back door, a sliding glass door, anything at all?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No sign of forced entry. Was anything taken from the home at all?
Not that we could find anything. We couldn't find anything missing.
I keep wondering what happened to that bicycle that Sebastian was seen riding. Why do I have this gnawing thing in the back of my stomach that tells me that went into the garbage as well? I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like his bike that everybody's showing, where is it? Because according to Miss Bobby, there's nothing. There's nothing on the outside of that home that indicates that a child lives there or a teenage child lived there. She even went as far as to say like there's no basketball hoops, no toys outside, no nothing. They didn't even have like a swing set or anything in that big beautiful neighborhood in their backyard that Sebastian could just go out and get some fresh air and swing on the swing. Like they had nothing for this child on the outside of that home to make this child feel like it was okay to be outside the home, in my opinion. I wonder where that bike went. That's what I'd like to know, because we've never seen that bike. I mean, that's the only time we've ever heard that he even had a bike. We knew that Seth had taught him how to ride. Seth taught him everything. Seth taught him how to eat, potty trained him, taught him to walk, all of it. So where is this bike that he was seen on? Because we know that that was years before they moved into this house. He was much younger in those photos and those videos. I don't know how old he would be, 11, 12, maybe younger. I don't know. I mean, for somebody that's doing her due diligence, you'd think she'd give a little more context behind something instead of thinking a man that she was very highly upset with for hitting an autistic child, way back in March, but now all of a sudden she has no problem with a grown man hitting a child that has medical needs with a belt. I thought she was against that. I thought she thought that that was abuse. I thought she was one of the people that doesn't like any type of violence or hitting anybody. And now all of a sudden it's okay. I find it repulsive.
I want to circle back to Sebastian's shoes regarding if anything was missing. Do you have a burglar alarm?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a Ring doorbell cam?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have the two of you taken a polygraph?
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told
All he had to do was say yes or no.
So she actually used to sound like one of the true crime content creators that we had out here on these platforms instead of being a dirtbag cockroach. Interesting.
Okay, that's where he's an idiot again. Would you be willing to? Yes, ma'am. How come that wasn't a yes, ma'am?
Interesting. Interesting. Don't we consider this like major hypocrisy? Now we're getting close to noon. Many of you guys know I shut the channel down from noon to about 6 o'clock on Saturdays, so we're going to be wrapping up. But this isn't the only moment of his hypocrisy. We also have another one. Again, God bless you, 5D. Keep doing the great work. Rock it out with your, you know what out. Just saying, your coffee bean. We love 5D. We love 5D. What does she have for us on the flip side? Another little snippet. This is only 7 minutes. We'll play this and then we're gonna break. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to showing you how hard it is for me, because I expect women to be strong. I know not everybody's the same, but I expect people to have integrity. But more importantly, it's the women. And not only the women, but the moms, right? I expect Mother Goose and Mama Bear to come out in people. And it's very upsetting when they start toying with real people's lives while they sit behind their computers on a microphone with their disgusting opinions and their uneducated selves. Now, I think this chick is much smarter than what she's been spewing, the vomit she's been spewing out of her mouth. The only purpose she's doing it is because she's got her feelings hurt, much like her side piece. So let's listen to this other person. This other person is Fat Lips, right? Fat Lips has this manster, whatever you want to call him, on her panel. And there are people in the audience that are saying, why ain't you talking about Sebastian? And guess what they do? They booed her. She was respectful. She was nervous about going up there, but I think it highly upset her, like it upsets many of us. When we hear, like just yesterday, when I was listening to those disgusting people, those two girls from TikTok, up there just shooting the breeze with a man that has a missing child out of his own home and gives 10 minutes of their time to the actual child. I find it appalling and disgusting, me personally. And much of that happened on Fat Lips' show when she had Chris there. And somebody had the backbone, because if you see something, you say something, to let them know it was highly disturbing for them. She was being honest. And then they tried to punish her for that. Why? Because it didn't go to their narrative, right? They're here to make money off of lies and hates. We're here to bring the truth. Let's listen. Aw, bye. Bye, Jen. I love you. Have a great day. Give Jackson a kiss for me. You guys can hear this, right? Oh, it's muted? All right. Let me drop it down. It might be because of the, it's not a big deal. I'll drop it down. I'll share it again. Usually that kicks it into gear. Okay. No problem. You should be able to hear it now.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got a lag really bad.
Hey, so just are y'all taking questions?
You guys can hear that now, right?
Far away.
I can, yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, baby. You got to lag really bad, so you're not hearing us at the same time. But go ahead.
Sorry, I'm sorry about that. So I know, like, you're really on the topic of flyers and whatnot, but are you going to get in?
You cut off. You cut off. What'd you say? Are we going to get into the topic of what?
Oh, this is annoying. Hold on. Let me get past all this.
Are we going to?
Where have you been? We've had nothing but.
Oh, here it is.
His name mentioned.
Oh, here it is. Hold on. Sorry.
Of what?
Are we going to explore any more into the topic of Sebastian? I mean, I really haven't even heard his name mentioned.
We've been talking about it this whole time. You ain't been here?
Where have you been? We've had nothing but we've learned about his favorite color, his favorite subject, what he likes to eat, what he likes to drink, what he likes to wear, how he likes to wear his hair. We've heard an immense amount about Sebastian tonight, ma'am.
What about where he is?
Well, I think he needs to get down by. You just need to go away.
I think where is my son is the point.
I mean,
we're all looking for.
Duh.
I'm sorry, Queen. I didn't mean to be.
Well, actually, she honestly, and I'm not bashing her when I say this, but instead of dancing around the subject, she just should have just got straight to the point, just asked the question.
She had lag, and the first opportunity she realized she was on, she got right to the question.
Right. Sebastian, Katie, and just stop dancing around and get to it. And the answer was real simple. As soon as we know, everybody in this world will know. And long.
I wonder why that is. Is it because we're going to see some people going to jail? I mean, that's what we're all sitting here waiting for. I guess we will know when they know.
Law enforcement will definitely be one of the first ones to know, but we appreciate your concern.
Oh, Chris, you are so better than I am. I want to punch you.
Oh, I want to punch. It seems like there's a lot of violence. And let me tell you, this woman hosting this show has two additional incidences, two additional court cases, one for stalking. I'm curious about that. Maybe we should go check that out and see what happened at the last court. I think they went to court on February 25th or something like that. But either way, we have two incidences, one where the her boyfriend is going for custody or going for visitation. And then his girlfriend, his pregnant girlfriend, filed a protective order for what? Oh, of course, this is not surprising. Stalking. She's a very good stalker, isn't she? And then we have an incident where her daughter, when it appears that only her and her daughter were in the house together, got bruises around her neck, and she's blaming it on her older daughter for choking her younger daughter out. I don't know whether that's true or the way that the her ex-boyfriend's putting it out there, but these are people that are violent. Okay, so we have a child that appears to have had some abuse perpetrated upon him by his stepfather, mental and physical. And then we have a whole team surrounding him that doesn't mind hurting people, punching them in their face, potentially choking an underage child out. Are these people that we want representing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? I think he would be disgusted after everything he's been through abuse-wise. Right? So why in the world would this family surround themselves with this trash? This straight up trash. Got searchers in the woods doing substances, an unscrupulous PI manufacturing and modifying true stuff that he puts out on their behalf. This is crazy. Absolutely insane.
I was
ready to go the fuck off over here.
I was jumping on her right away. I was like, la 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 la.
I was gonna sit back.
So somebody has an issue and they're ready to jump on him and make him feel like crap instead of just explaining. You know, if you feel that that person is wrong, why are you getting your panties in a wad? You don't see me getting my panties in a wad. I just boot them out. You know? But it's usually people that are here gaslighting. This person seemed like they cared. They wanted to know, you know, more about where they can look and what they're doing for search and stuff like that. Real legitimate information about where Sebastian could be. And they treated her like, can you imagine if we did that to somebody that was here for literally the benefit of the victim?
Back and watch Cheesy Ripper from limb to limb. So
can I
Rip from limb
speak
to limb.
freely about shit like that right there?
This channel, we would not be in business if people weren't violent. We denounce violence. We denounce saying things of violence. Now, I could say a lot of stuff like, hey, I'd love to slap the shit out of this person. Right? But we don't. Why? Because it's inciting. We say they're pieces of crap. We give you guys the fact. If there's abuse, there's abuse. I believe these people should be in jail. It's just my personal opinion. Until law enforcement actually effects an arrest, here we are.
This is what creates the problems with these grifting channels is viewers that watch this shit. And
That watch what shit? Your shit? I'm questioning here because I gotta say this here is disgusting. They spend more time arguing with people than making it about Sebastian. This is hypocrisy at its best.
support this shit because if people like that wouldn't jump up on panel to ask the parent of a
My thing would be, Scarecrow, is maybe get your teeth fixed, eat some food, take your food back from your woman and actually eat a good meal. And you already know the facts. These people know the truth. These people weren't on CP's side. They had common sense. Why did they change? They changed for money while pointing the finger at everybody else and calling them grifters. The only people that are grifters here are the people that do a 180 for profit. You want to hurt an innocent person because it's profitable. These people, in my opinion, are breaking laws. Them doing stuff on their channel is not. But what they're inciting, in my opinion, is. Because they're making people more violent. And they're aiming them at the people that are helping Seth and Seth. And you hear how violent these people are. That's why they are felons. Violent felons.
missing child that question, these damn channels that support that and promote that wouldn't exist.
Well, I have a better question for her. And then I would address this with anybody that wanted to do that. What evidence do you have
Amen to that.
supports your theory that one of the three parents have any idea where our son is, or we?
I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the behaviors, the inconsistencies, maybe the lights that come almost directly from behind their house out to an unknown car, and one light going back to their house. Maybe it has to do with the analysis of good people enhancing the lights video and seeing something that they probably shouldn't be seeing and shouldn't be displayed on social media. But here we are because why? It's fact. Something was being taken out of that house that night. And you can sit there and twist this. There's nobody else. That's the beauty of circumstantial cases, is that you eliminate everybody else. Who else is left? This child was sheltered. This child was isolated. This child was being abused inside that home. This child didn't even have underwear to wear. All of his underwear was given to his dad by his mother's husband. But sometimes these content creators intentionally forget all these disgusting and deplorable things that normal people consider abuse. If that's not mental abuse, I don't know what is. And I can tell you, I'd rather have physical abuse all day long over mental abuse. I've had both. I've had both.
We had something to do with this, because if you have something, please bring it to law enforcement. I'm begging you.
Yeah, but on ET, of course, Elevated Truth, he doesn't really care about Sebastian. He only cared about the clicks and views, and he has since removed his video. So it's okay. We've got it. We've got the video. And he's sitting there telling people not to come forward, not to disrupt law enforcement, not to turn any more leads in, not to call about him. Huh. That's a 180. I guess that's not a red flag for these cockroaches at all. His truck being in the area, not good enough at all. And he admitted to saying that to Elevated Truth. And quite frankly, I believe Elevated Truth was pissed off, and I think he stated the statement. Chris did not deny telling him that. He did not deny. But then he tried to say, I was meeting, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Why would law enforcement be looking for Wi-Fi after the time of the child disappearing? Not only after the date the child disappearing, but hours. Hours. Like, even if they wanted to do a search from, say, 10 o'clock at night to 9 o'clock in the morning, right? But why would they push that all the way to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon of the next day, literally 6, 7, 8 hours after this child disappeared and was reported missing? 8 hours after the cavalry rolled in and they knew that he wasn't in the area, and they had all those additional police squad cars with Wi-Fi. That would tell me that there would have been, if they went all the way to 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on February 26th, they would have derived more than 2 Wi-Fis in the neighborhood, because they would have had to eliminate all the cops, all of the additional support staff like Secret Service, TBI, the FBI card team. Anybody that was out there, I don't know if FBI was boots on the ground. I don't know if Secret Service was boots on the ground, but you had a lot of officers and searchers from different organizations. You cannot tell me that those would not have come up in that search. So yes, there are red flags.
Absolutely. If you have something that proves that one of these three.
And let me tell you, I can tell you this man ain't screaming from the rooftops to call stuff in today because we heard him on Elevated Truth. Now, he may say something on mainstream media to make themselves look good, but we listen to them when they're not on mainstream media, don't we? We listen to them when they're on all these stupid podcasts looking pathetic. Sorry, not sorry.
Parents knows where this child is, please take it to law enforcement.
People like that don't make no fucking sense.
That's rich coming from that woman.
Sorry,
No. That woman's nothing but lies.
Don't. I mean, I can't with the bullshit.
You know, how do you know when Fat Lips is lying? Those fat lips are moving.
Shit, I'm coming the fuck on now. Come up here and say, are we going to talk about Sebastian when we were talking about it for 3 hours? I mean, you obviously ain't been here that long, or you just ain't been paying attention. You wanted to come up here and start some shit. Go start some shit somewhere the fuck else.
Knock, knock, baby.
I'm trying to tell you, like, I know it sounds crazy, but if YouTube was real life, like, if when people came on the panel, they were standing in front of you, I'd be in prison.
Yeah, there ain't no way.
More violence. More violence. More calls for violence. These people, you know, to me, when I'm looking at them in a psychological manner, people that have to act tough are really weak inside. people that have to, constantly be talking about how they're going to whip you and all this other stuff and how they're going to smack the crap out of you and all this stuff. You know what? The chances of that actually happening are slim to none. Okay? Will it happen? I'm sure maybe it will. I can take trust me, I was abused by a man for many, many years. My first experience with domestic violence outside of being in my own home was my first boyfriend, which stuck a knife up to my throat at the age of 15, because naturally people that come from homes, my house was a great home. I love my parents. Many of you guys know that. I love them a lot. And when things were good, they were really, really good. But when things were bad, they were really, really bad. And I got to tell you, from a product of abuse, I say no. You don't hear us advocating to hurt people, to beat them silent, because that's really what they want to do, right? They don't like what they're saying, so they want to put their hands on them because of words that are coming out of them. Is that really what we're wanting to teach our young people in this country? That when you don't like what somebody's saying, instead of turning the channel or walking the other way, you take matters in your own hands? Isn't violence the reason why 90% or 90, actually, I'd say 100% of our cases are present on our channel? Well, like 99.9, because like with Dane, many people believe he's in the water. No violence there. But so 99.9% of our cases are a direct result of violence. So how can you say that you are against these types of atrocities, but not against the cause of these types of atrocities? We say no to violence. We say no to speaking of violence. Now, we can wish all day long that somebody gets cancer or a brain tumor. I mean, I don't think it's the most Christian thing to do, but we could do something like that. But to actually advocate for somebody to put their hands on another person, that's why we're covering these cases to begin with. If people would just keep their hands to themselves, we would probably have more people that aren't lost and more people that aren't in a casket. Just saying, just my common sense. Sorry if it's offensive.
They're just saying no way. People just act so reckless on here. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Yes, they do. Like when they incite their own audience to act in violent ways.
Yeah, bone queasy.
Yeah.
Straight up ghetto trash.
I can be polite up here, but I can be the worst bitch you could ever imagine too.
Oh, baby. I'm not sure if you ever met Bullhorn Betty, because I don't need to act hard to be hard. I just am who I am.
Yeah, Cheesy's went off a couple times. She's like, I ain't playing this shit.
I don't understand why people think that I don't say my son's name.
Honey, that's just what people say.
Who believes that that this mother, Katie Proudfoot, has said her son's name enough in the last year? I think every single person covering this case, whether they're good or bad, have said Sebastian's name more than his own mother. Now, if you think just the opposite, by all means, please send me some receipts. But we have watched several interviews, mainstream media, and these dirtbag type interviews. And I can tell you, Sebastian's name is very rarely spoken in the grand scheme of the situation where we're at. Just saying.
To get under your skin, to ruin the mood that we had just worked so hardly to all get into. They came up and did that because you were having a moment of just enjoying yourself and not sitting there stressing and maybe letting your mind just
not sitting there stressing. I don't know how many people could have a missing child that's medically needy You know in your brain he cannot take care of himself for an entire year. But at this point, it was, I don't know how many months in. When did she do this interview? Back in August, September, or something like that? I don't know. I'll have to check the log and find out when this one was done. But either way, I don't see people being relaxed. I don't see people having their mind off, being public. Like, think about it. Every time we see Seth and or Tony online, do you think they're talking about anything other than Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? Do you think they're online to sit and kind of hang out with me or any other content creator out there? Do you think that they just want to shoot the crap with us on a public forum? If Seth has an opportunity to be on anybody's show, the number one topic of conversation has and always will be Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and bringing him home safely. That's his father's only goal. His father has no desire to be on anybody's panel shooting the breeze. He is goal focused, and his only goal is his son and finding out what happened to him. Period. Good, bad, or ugly. He just wants to know the truth.
Be in a better place than what it was.
I probably heard his name 30 times tonight. You know what I mean?
A better place than it was. You mean with all the violent rhetoric that's coming out of their mouth, talking about smacking this person, beating up that person, shutting this person down? Hell, I mean, if you really want to be violent, I can be violent too. I'd love to sew their lips shut. I don't know if it's as violent as theirs. Maybe super glue would be less violent. I don't know. That's about as much violence as that we get on this channel.
With you saying his name, I don't understand where.
And we didn't give them ammunition either tonight. So
this whole conversation is ammunition, by the way, because it shows how deplorable these sick, whats are. All right, guys, that is the end of the show as we know it. We got to see the hypocrisy, which is super, super important in this case, because I am so sick and tired of people going after Seth and being despicable, disgusting cockroaches that would rather get a paycheck than do the right thing. And that's what it comes down to. There's enough to do the right thing. There's always something. People want the truth. They don't want to be strong. Well, I shouldn't say that. It sounds like that whole cesspool of disgusting, vile people don't mind being all alone and a lot because they feed off each other, right? And the reason why they have to feed off each other is because the rest of the world with common sense don't listen to their BS. The only reason why I'm presenting these two clips is to show you the hypocrisy. Yes, they are hypocrites. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more important, kind to one another. God bless. And quit being so damn violent. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.